Hello, welcome. My name is Dr. Rachel Ronald, and I am the Assistant Dean for Academic Affairs and Student Success with the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences here at the University of Arizona. I am also the Interim Director of Global Studies, and I am thrilled to be able to share with you in just a few minutes some information about our Global Studies degree that we offer. So jumping right in, what is Global Studies? Our Global Studies degree is structured in a really interesting way. A lot of times students come to the University of Arizona and it can be really difficult to decide what you want to major in. You might be really interested in politics, or you might be really interested in studying a certain culture. You might come to the university and you might discover a new field like anthropology or sociology. And global studies is a really interesting way. It's kind of a way to manage all of those interests because you don't have to pick just one of those fields. You can major in global studies and potentially take classes in fields that you're interested about, but that in a way that gives you a really broad sense and a really interesting sense of what's happening globally. So our major is designed to help you think critically about global issues from a variety of disciplinary perspectives. So you won't take classes in just one area, you'll take classes in lots of areas so that you have the best sense of some of the global issues, past and present, that will prepare you for the future, right? So the major is structured around intellectual and experiential frameworks that empower you to analyze, adapt, communicate, problem solve, and empathize in a variety of professional and personal networks. So what that means is that you're going to be taking really interesting classes. And in a lot of cases, you're actually going to be able to engage in some hands-on learning and actually engage in your field, whether it's in research or working out in the community, whether it's local or global, and doing some really interesting work. The unique structure of this major emphasizes interdisciplinarity and promotes self-reliance, leadership, and team skills. And we very firmly believe, and in my work with employers, they also believe that these are skills and attitudes that really help you shine in future workplaces, grad schools, and communities. And especially because we're in a setting with increasingly fused global forces. So global studies will give you that foundation, that framework to be able to work in a variety of different fields. I can't imagine any field that doesn't, right, have a global component. So our major is pretty straightforward as far as what's required of you. The very first class that you will take as a global studies major will be GLS 250, Dimensions of Globalization, States, Societies, and Institutions. And this is a really interesting class, not only because of how it's taught, but also because it introduces you to the different fields that you might pick. All of our students are required to complete a thematic emphasis in either cultures, health and development, human rights, or political economy and institutions. So GLS 250 will give you that framework to help you make the decision that's right for you based on what your interests are in the global world. When you are ready to graduate, our students take a senior capstone. And so you have kind of these two bookend classes that help pull a lot of information together and really make good sense out of the content and the different types of experiences that you've had, both in the degree, in the classroom, and outside of the classroom. We couldn't be a global studies major without requiring second language. So unlike a lot of the other degrees offered at the U of A, we have a higher second language requirement. Most BAs at the University of Arizona require a fourth semester language proficiency, and the bachelor's in global studies actually requires a sixth semester language. So you'll be taking a little bit more language, and hopefully that makes sense because we want you to be having immersive experiences, really understanding global studies and having a sense of the different regions of the world, and be able to engage in content or hands-on work in different areas of the world. And that brings me to one of the other kind of highlights of the degree, is that we actually require an international immersion experience, which of course could be a study abroad, it could be an internship abroad, and it could look like a lot of different things. If you're wondering how that might function, especially now during COVID times, that's something that we've been working out with students, and waiving that requirement, since travel is not something that we're able to do right now. But in our regular course of business, if you will, international experience is something that's very important to the substance of the degree, and is also something that's very exciting for students that are moving through the degree, being able to study abroad, earn credits towards their degree while they're abroad, and really just having some really interesting global experiences. For more information, I highly encourage you to speak with the expert. And in this case, that is Dr. Catherine Gallion. You can see her email and her link to Trellis, her calendar link, and she received her PhD from the University of Arizona in history. She is a very global-minded individual herself, and she'll be able to guide you and speak with you about how best global studies might align with your interests and values and what you hope to accomplish while you're at the U of A, and of course in the time after when you graduate. And to declare the major, super simple. You meet with the advisor, talk to Dr. Gallion, and you can go ahead and schedule that appointment on Trellis Advise. I hope that was some helpful information, albeit brief, about global studies. At the very beginning of the presentation, my email address was listed, so please feel free to reach out to me as well. Thank you.